And another thing that, of course, is always a topic of conversation is about the fact that this game against UAPB, yes, it is on Thursday night, but it's in Little Rock. It's at War Memorial Stadium. And boy, I tell you what, when the opening happened, you could tell Sam Pittman was really pumped to play this game in Little Rock. But he also was asked about the future of these games in Little Rock at War Memorial Stadium.
Played next year. Is there an ideal for you, the scenario?
I think the only concerning thing, and I think half of the, I don't know that the word's problem, half of the concern, okay, is that we're going to play in our stadium once in the first 5 games. And one of them's in Little Rock and one of them's in Dallas. Now, the Dallas game is, we'll end up playing Texas A&M here next year. But if you look at it and you consistently look at it, I believe the year we won 9, I think we had 6 games, and I think 4 of them, y'all check me on this, but I'm saying I think 4 of them were home games, and we were in here twice. And I, to be honest with you, I just don't know that it's fair to the fans. I mean, they know where the University of Arkansas is. They can plan it. They can get here for games. I think they want to be here for games. So there are problems with that, including the one for 5 here. I don't know the answer, to be honest with you, in the future. Obviously, we're going to go play Arkansas State a year from now over there in Little Rock, but I think there's a lot of conversation probably needs to be had between now and 2026.
Okay, so it's not a problem; it's a concern, by the way, because there's a huge difference between that. But speaking about the game itself, I mean, I'll give him credit; he was pretty candid about it. You can tell it's not something that he necessarily enjoys, and basically is like, hey, the games are up here. You got people who need to just plan it and getting to come up here. And there was a couple of years ago where they only had 2 games in Fayetteville, and only playing 1 game in Fayetteville in your first 5 games is a problem. So he's not saying anything new, but just him kind of coming out and being very candid about it, I think, is kind of why I still believe that next year Arkansas State Little Rock game will be the final one in War Memorial Stadium ever moving forward.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't care. I really don't care about this, but I do think that I agree with him on the standpoint of it being an issue when you have that game and the Southwest Classic game. That's what causes things like you're having this year, with the 5 different stadiums in 5 weeks or whatever. Part of that situation is going to go away, after this year. And so then fine. But yeah, I mean, would I like to see them continue to play games in Little Rock? Sure. Does it have to be every year? I don't know. But I think there are ways to avoid exactly what you're dealing with on your schedule right now. And that's what they need to do, independent of Little Rock or Jerry World or whatever. Like, you cannot put your football program in this type of situation. It's a disadvantage. And I think it's going to show with all that travel when they get back for a week 6 game at home, which will be really exciting against a Tennessee team that's coming off a bye, and you've just been bussing all over the country for 5 weeks. It's nobody else does that. They just don't.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam Pittman for having a weird take on the captain thing, but then following it up with a really good take on the Little Rock thing. He said something that stuck out to me. They know where the University of Arkansas is. They can plan around it. Literally, like it's for all the talk about like, oh, well, Fayetteville's so far away. People don't have trouble getting to Fayetteville, and they don't have trouble getting to that game. I mean, even when Arkansas played Kent State and BYU last year, there were a decent amount of fans there. Like they usually do a good job of filling that stadium up when the team is competent. They never fill the Little Rock Stadium up for the last decade, even when the team's been good, And so it's like, I don't know who the Little Rock games are for at this point. And also it's just like you said, it's a disadvantage. I see Fishman saying you can't bring recruits to Little Rock. That's a big deal. It just seems like kind of a no-brainer. And so I'm glad that Pittman didn't sugarcoat it and do the whole thing of like, well, we love our state, we love the Southern, but do the whole thing. He was just like, yeah, it kind of sucks that we have to do this, but hopefully after next year, everyone will get their fill.
Can I take him for his word that they are for sure playing Texas A&M in Fayetteville next year? Or you think that that's just maybe him thinking, well, we're playing, they're technically
a road. Take him at his word. No.
Yeah. Like, because I was like, man, okay, so they're playing Texas A&M in Fayetteville this year or next year. So there's one game that you for sure know it's going to be happening. But
Well, the first game of that campus series should be in Fayetteville after Arkansas had to go to College Station randomly during the COVID thing. That's not how the SEC works. I understand that, but yeah, I mean, it should be in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Because then also that would make sense because then you go to Texas next year, like on the road. So that way you don't have to play A&M and Texas on the road next season. So
that'd be gross. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough.